Welcome to Scary Stories with Boomy. Now sit back, grab yourself a glass of wine, and be prepared to be scared. Hello, my friends, my spooky friends. It's Boomy here again with another episode of Scary Stories with Boomy. It's been a month since our last one, my friends, because I have been a busy bee. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I just am. But we do have two stories, my friends, from a listener, from someone who watches and listens to the channel. And what this person has to talk about is something very famous, something very well known within the paranormal industry, paranormal field, paranormal community. It's the Black-Eyed Kids. I might actually do an episode solely on the Black-Eyed Kids. Creepy things. There is some discussion and debate on what part of the paranormal the Black-Eyed Kids reside in. Yeah, some people on the side of UFOs and aliens. And then you have those on the side of ghosts and demons and stuff like that. I'm a little bit mixed. I'm a little bit in the middle on that one. I'm not entirely sure what and or who they are and what their true actual purpose is. But this is from a listener. Yes, that's right. We'll call her L. She has two stories for us. My friends, sit back, relax, turn the lights off, and enjoy. I think I might just talk like this the whole time for all the scary stories. And welcome to episode 5. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the comment section below. And, of course, send me your scary stories at TheBoomyShow@gmail.com. The information's in the information below. We would love to hear your stories and read them. And, of course, it'll be put on here in one of our episodes. So here we go. Story number 1. This email is also titled, and if you send me really cool titles, that will catch my eye first, obviously. The story is titled, or the email, Black-Eyed Kid, My Mom, and the Murderous Ghost. Story number 1. When I was 16, I moved back to California. Another expat from California. And I was staying with a friend. The thing with my dad was big news, and I didn't want to deal with it here. One day, I was just about to fall asleep, and I had the usual sleep paralysis. Now, sleep paralysis is probably the scariest thing. Now, this is something that does happen naturally to people when the muscle seize up, and you just are not able to move. You're literally paralyzed for a while. It can happen naturally, and it could happen, one could argue, supernaturally. She continues, one day I was just about to fall asleep and had the usual sleep paralysis. Usual sounds a little suspect. You should probably see someone about that. I couldn't move anything except my eyes. And then I heard the most awful screaming, like hundreds of people being tortured. Holy crap. And you're frozen in bed. You can't do anything about it. The only thing working is like your eyes and your ears. You just have to lay there listening to that. No, I'm good. Nope, I'm out. This day was different, though. Looking at me as a child about 8 or 9. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally read that. Looking at me was a child about 8 or 9. He had black hair, black eyes, and was dressed in turn-of-the-century clothing. Now, this is something people who have reported to see black-eyed kids say is that they are wearing old-timey clothing. Turn-of-the-century 19th century style clothing, and that's just how they appear to you. They always have black eyes. They're typically normally kids. Sometimes they'll knock on your door, they'll ask to use your phone. The rule of thumb is do not let them in. Do not let them in. Don't do that, because they'll be like, could we please use your phone? Thank you. Yeah, we're just going to call so our parents come. I don't think you ever want the parents to come, because if these kids are creepy, just imagine what the parents look like. I'm good. Just don't let them in. And rule of thumb, just don't let anyone in your house. Be a shut-in, shut everything down. Just don't. The world's crazy enough. We don't need all this stuff bleeding through. She continues, I was more terrified than I had ever been before in my life. I thought it was another night terror until I got up and saw what looked like dried blood on the floor exactly where he stood. Clean up on aisle 1, please. And the bed, because I'd be peeing myself. My friend's mom thought I had gotten dye on the floor, but I never took my dye outside of the bathroom. No matter how many times she scrubbed it, the stain always came back, and it was big. And you hear this a lot with like haunted mansions where there, presumably a murder happened and the blood stain there, or you go to like Civil War or Civil War old buildings where, something happened, blood was spilled, and the blood's still there. A lot of times in wooden floors, blood seeps in and it will stay there. As much as you try to clean it up, it stays, and that's just creepy. I don't like this. So eventually she had to rip the carpet up and replace it with wood. Back then, I thought it was demonic because of the shit I was into. But now looking back, what else has black eyes? What else can appear however they want? With all of my experiences, it only makes sense to me that the black-eyed kids are extraterrestrials. Okay, so see, we're going down on the UFO alien part, which is totally fine. That path is totally fine to go on, because I think there's a lot of questions going on out there. In most cases, they warn of climate catastrophes and nuclear war. They're always terrifying, but I don't know that they necessarily mean to be. I would argue that any child that comes into your house and their eyes are completely black is always going to be terrifying. There is no putting a red ribbon on top of that and saying, this is cute, look at little Johnny. No, little Johnny is here to steal my soul. That's what little Johnny's here to do. It's scary. Now, they are like a raven would be, they're these harbingers of omens, of things that might happen. I have never heard of anything good related to these creatures. It's like, I saw a black-eyed kid and I won the lottery the next day, but then the day after that I got hit by a car. I mean, that's typically how that happens. I mean, I know with people's luck in life, that's typically what happens anyways, without a black-eyed kid being involved. But yeah, that is true. They sometimes can come about and warn of different things, depending on what you want to believe. You want to believe it's extraterrestrials, party on UBU. This is a judgment-free zone. I'm into all the weird, freaky stuff. Party on. Do I believe they are? I don't know. Jury is still out on that one. Are they more ghostly, paranormally in that type of thing? It kind of feels that way, especially when you have blood and all that stuff. There, I have lots of questions like, if it's not a black-eyed kid, what's the age of the house? What's the history of the house? What's happened inside this house? Is there something this thing is attached to? Are you the only one this thing has visited? So many questions as someone who investigates the paranormal. You have to ask a lot of these questions to try to pinpoint what's going on. Because if you can't explain it away scientifically or through typical rational quotes in the air type of explanations and thoughts, then if you can't explain it with any of those tools, then you're left with what is it? And now there are a lot of tools, especially nowadays in 2022, in the ghost hunting field that we use that can prove things scientifically. So, the jury's still out on a lot of that stuff. That's interesting. That's a big nope in my book. I will shoot first and ask questions later in that situation. But yeah, okay, let's get to our second story. My stepdad and his family here lived in the same little town for generations. Unfortunately, his grandfather is well known for nefarious reasons. Elle, if you're listening, we need to know more. I know you've got more stories. We need more of them. She continues, one day in a fit of rage, he killed my stepdad's grandmother. Oh, damn. And we're just going to call him Bill. Kay, her on his grandmother's closet. Wait, what? Hold on. I totally misread that, and I had to go back and reread that sentence and went, oh no. This is what it meant to say. One day in a fit of rage, he killed my dad's grandmother and stuck her on his grandmother's closet where she sat for 3 days. Okay. Note to self, don't ever go to that house. They caught him and put him in jail. Well, thank God. But he escaped, of course, and they never found him again. That's, back in the day, it was easier to get away with crap. Fast forward to present day. My mom and stepdad lived steps from the house his grandmother was killed in. No, I would burn that block down and go. One day, I was backing out of the driveway and noticed a man peering out from the glass in the garage. The man looked exactly like my stepdad, except he wasn't my stepdad because my stepdad was waving at me with my mom from the porch. Shortly thereafter, in the middle of the night, my mom was wakened by being lifted out of her freaking bed by nothing and thrown violently to the ground. That's some poltergeist activity crap right there. The next day, she had bruises on her arms in the shape of a large man's hands. I'm getting goosebumps just reading this crap. This happened a few times, but the last straw was when he pushed her down the basement freaking stairs. Y'all need to get out of this house. She continues. I went over to the house and had words with him, the ghost. I threatened to send him to a place of eternal torment, and he knew I had the power to do it. That was close to 4 years ago, and she hasn't had an occurrence since then. I assume it was my stepdad's grandfather because he looked exactly like him, and he obviously hated women. What? What? Oh my gosh. That one's crazy. Like black-eyed kids, okay, party on, but you have this poltergeist activity from a douche canoe of a grandfather who killed his wife, stuck her on a closet where she sat for 3 days. Why? Like, what? Why? And yeah, of course they caught him. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Well, I have an idea. Well, I offed you. So what we're going to do now is, well, we are going to, of course, we are going to put you in the closet. I'm just going to let you be there for 3 days. No one's going to ask any questions. Sometimes I truly wonder about people. But hey, sometimes when you're in a fit of rage, or say this guy's being possessed by something or oppressed by something, and he's not in complete control of his faculties on that one. This is not giving him any excuse for the crap he did. No, zero tolerance on this show. But sometimes when we allow that type of emotion, allow anger, and especially when it's fueled by alcohol or other type of drugs, stupid happens. I mean, stupid is being extremely light on this situation. I mean, horrible things can happen, and they have happened. For example, here, it's just crazy, and they never found him again. That's just mind-blowing. This was modern days, so if it's her my stepdad's grandmother, so her great-grandmother, so it really wasn't, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't a ghost from 1833. It wasn't that. And yeah, back in the day, it was easier just to get away and just hide and just take on a new identity and go. But the interesting thing is that if that was his ghost, he went back to that house. Huh? That's the interesting thing. And yeah, that's just like, why? Like this is why. Most times I have found that guys who are extremely violent towards women and very like this guy are extremely insecure individuals, narcissistic, psychopathic, that whole entire vein. And it really makes my background in psychology really start kicking in, because it makes you, really want to study these type of people and, try to really figure out what it is in their mind that really makes them do what they do. And especially if you're playing with dark stuff and you're just allowing that stuff in, it can really take what's already festering there and just really ramp it up a new level, and really bad things for obvious reasons, obviously here, happen. Oh my God. Wow. That's, my mind is blown. But you have a lot more experiences, and I can tell that you do, and I cannot wait to read more. Bring them all in. Guys, send me your stuff. I don't care what it's about. Paranormal, Bigfoot, what have you, dude. I rabbit hole that crap all the time. So don't be afraid. Email it in. I'll keep your identities hidden from the world. I'll give you nice, new, cool names. But yeah, guys, wow, crazy. Elle, thank you so much for that story. That is crazy. Black-eyed kids and a murderous douche canoe of a ghost. Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. I was waiting to read if she had like 3 scratches here or there because any signs of demonic activity, but that's just crazy. That's gonna keep me thinking. Anyways, put your comments in the comment section below, my friends. Let me know your thoughts on all these things. There's a lot to unpack here. There really is. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Become part of the family here, the scary family. I haven't come up with a cool name yet for it. Or the Boomies. That was really dumb. We're never going to do that. I'm going to edit that out. I'm probably not. We're going to keep going. Anyways, friends, you guys know what to do. Do the thing. We're going to have more stories for you. Do not worry, guys. Have a great week. And we'll see you again next Thursday with more scary stories.